What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Midnight Manor at Fantastic Fest 2025. Your next Collider interview is with the team behind Theater is Dead. Huge congratulations on your movie.
Thank you.
I love the tone. I love the style. I'm a little obsessed with this mythology now.
Yes.
I'm excited to dig into it. But before I do, I want to bring up one question that keeps coming up this year. I love genre. I love being here and celebrating it. So I'm curious for each of you, and I'll ask you this question from the perspective of being a director. Is there a horror movie you saw early on that made you stop and go, that is awesome, I have to do that as an actor or as a director one day?
Okay, a big one for me, and honestly for this film as well, was Jennifer's Body. It's just extremely, the feminist tone, the campiness and the how funny it was, and it was just so original. It was I just love things that are truly original, which I think our movie is just it's catnip. It's amazing.
Can confirm.
Yeah.
The first horror movie that I became obsessed with was Saw 2 specifically. It was just always on cable. And so if I ever switched the channel and it happened to be on, it was like a OCD thing that I had to watch it all the way through. So that one sticks in my mind.
I have to put you on the spot and ask a follow-up question. Do you have a favorite set piece from that movie?
Okay, there's that glass box where they put their...
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
That is stuck in my brain forever.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
I can go off of that too, where so I'm older than these guys. But in the 80s, there was a lot of, all the sequels were being picked up for cable. So when I was growing up, we didn't really watch the first. Jaws 2 was huge. Friday the 13th 2 was huge. Halloween 2, all that kind of stuff. So for me, one that really scarred me and really wanted me to get into just watching horror films was Halloween 2. The hospital setting was so good. And I know it gets some flack, but there's also a lot of people that love it, and there's a lot of people that go to bat for it. But it's so much creepier to me than the first one. And maybe it's because I got abused in the sense of I was watching this at an early age and I did it to myself. And that's what I just loved.
The amount of films out there that have tried to recreate that hospital set piece, that is an iconic thing that has influenced countless horror movies.
Yeah, specific lighting, just go very simple with it. And just that whole, Jamie Lee Curtis, is she going to get through another movie? How is this going to happen? This poor woman, how is this going to happen? So that one did it for me.
I'll take that.
This is a hard question. My recall is so bad, but I think there's a couple films that I was so mind blown by that I couldn't believe I could be so manipulated by film. Shutter Island was one of them, where I really affected me, and I was so blown away by it and so blown away by the performances. And I think that as an audience and as a filmmaker, that inspires me so much to be able to do that and to have those twists and those turns in that sharp way. That's one of my favorite films.
Also a good one.
My favorite horror films are The Shining and Jaws, probably. But I would say for this, Jennifer's Body. I'm not killing people, I'm killing boys. It's just all of it's iconic.
Yeah. I think too, especially for this movie, we really found some inspiration in Ready or Not. Just that kind of institutionalized, stuck in this house. For us, of course, we're stuck in a theater, and it's just it's a little edgy and a little campy, that little tinge of humor where you're like, oh my goodness, did she really just say that? Oh my God. And the ending, especially of Ready or Not, just leaves you going, oh my God, I can't believe she's sitting here in this bloody wedding dress, smoking a cigarette on the stoop, house burning behind her. Sorry,
In-laws,
spoilers,
yeah.
but yeah, in-laws, right? That's exactly. I think you especially were I have to have a line that's just cheeky and fun, and So,
I am always rooting for those directors, so I'll always take a Ready or Not reference. So we've kind of teased a little bit about what your movie is about. Clearly, I know your movie, but a lot of our audience is first going to learn about Theater is Dead through this interview. For the multitude of writers here, does anyone want to jump in and give a brief synopsis of the film?
Catherine. I can also do it.
I don't know. Yes, I can do it.
Or you can do one sentence at a
I
time
know.
until we get there.
You want me to do it?
No, you do. You do it. I think.
I don't know what my sentence would be.
Setting, Vashon Island. No, it's about this bright-eyed dreamer named Willow, played by the lovely Decker Sadowski, and this prestigious theater director, played by Shane West, comes to her little secluded island, and she feels like she's really finding her voice. He casts her as the lead of her play, and she's just in a blissful, like serene moment, and then the darkness kind of seeps in.
Weird stuff starts happening and she's confused, but it's also to me, it's about an artist just like realizing she's an artist, which I think is like extremely relatable to obviously everyone at this festival, but probably a lot of people watching, is this moment, maybe for me, especially like doing my first play or just being like, oh my God, these theater kids are insane and I'm obsessed with them. And so we kind of like see her get like kind of sucked into that. And then, things start happening and we don't want to give too much away. But it's definitely, it's a very, I want you to watch it and be like, I understand why people get sucked in and like maybe sell their soul. Yeah.
Sucked in.
Makes sense. Sucked in.
The operative word.
I am a little obsessed with the idea of folks in this industry finding the perfect collaborators and sticking with them. And so like 4 of you are credited writers on the movie, and I know you all work together on your last feature film as a director. So I have many questions about that. First, can you tell me a little bit about how you all met, and also maybe, I guess, what the first thing you saw in the others that signaled to you that right there isn't just a good collaborator for me right now, but that's someone I'm going to want to hold tight to?
Oh my God. I would love to talk about this.
I'm like gonna cry.
I met Olivia in Brooklyn in like 2017, and we both were moving to LA at the same time. And I was like trying to be a comedian. And I was doing like sketch videos on Instagram, and she was just like, hey, can I be in your sketch videos? And I was like, no one's asked before. I was like, absolutely. And then it was just like meeting her immediately. She just like got my voice immediately and was obsessed with it. And I was like, I'm obsessed with you. And I loved writing for her. So I'd start writing the sketches like for her acting. And then she came up with this amazing short film idea. We did a couple short films with Jacob. And we just had so much fun. It's honestly, I think meeting Olivia was really the first time where like we kind of locked eyes, and she was just like, no, I get what you're doing. And I was like, and I get what you're doing. And it was like a really...
Just like Amy Sherman-Palladino.
That's very sweet. It was like and she was very like, but also Olivia has such an eye for story. So like we did the story by both of us, and I wrote our first shorts. And then in the summer of 2020, perfect time to make a movie, Olivia was like, Olivia was like, she just goes to me, she's like, we're ready for a feature. And I was like, we are? And she said, yes, we are. And she knew Madison and Decker through an acting class. And she's also really good at casting. Obsessed with them. Yeah. And she was like, Olivia just came to me with like the full form idea of Juniper. She was just like, it's about this girl and, grieving her sister. And I think it should be played the Madison lead, whatever. These are the characters. And I was like, yes. And so then we broke down it was kind of a mumblecore, like improvised dialogue film, but we were like very strict with like the structure, and we like figured out the structure. And then when I met Decker and Madison, it just like really clicked, and it was a 10-person cast and crew in a house in the pandemic, all tested, all whatever.
Jacob did every job.
Jacob did every job. And it was just, we had the best time, and it just went really well, and we licensed it to Showtime and Tubi, and we were like what's our next film? And
I will say, like, the second part of your question too, I think the reason it works, and the thing that's been so special to find, and I'm not sure we could ever find it again, or I could, is like, I think we all believe in each other, and we're all rooting for each other, and I respect you all so much. So it's like, I don't know, when we talk about ideas or things, we all just are excited. And there's this beautiful lack of ego, I think. Yeah. And it's so unique and so special. I'm so grateful for it. But I really think for me, why it works, because I'm like, I love you guys. I'm rooting for you. Like, I want us all, like, I'm just like, you're amazing.
And then we get to like have people like Shane. And like our second movie was such a bigger jump, and having people like Shane supporting this film and like giving it his all and like showing us how it's done. It's just been like,
we got so lucky with Shane.
Yeah,
we got so
the budget,
lucky.
The scale, like it was an order of magnitude bigger. The second film from the
not
first
10
one.
people.
Yeah,
I'm still doing everything.
Yes.
That is a really big deal, though, that I'll further emphasize. And I've spoken to a lot. There were a couple other very popular actors who came in earlier, and because they got behind a film in a variety of capacities, that film happened. And I feel like that's kind of the situation you're in here. So when an opportunity like this comes your way, like, what is it about the story and also them that makes you think, like, I have to support them and lift them up?
That's a great question. And then you hope that everyone gets along. Because it's like, it still could be a great script, and then you show up and you're like, But I mean, straight up, the script was, and I have been saying this morning too, it's original, it's unique, it stood out. There's no way I think any actor wouldn't have loved this script reading it, whether they were even right for the role or not. It's just a fun read. as a script. You don't know what's happening after that, right? So then I get to know this group, and immediately the wardrobe fitting. Is it your place? Okay, I was like, thinking in time. Yes, I was like, but was awesome because everyone was there, like that you see now, helping with certain things, and I was like, this is wild. I haven't seen this before, and it's such a good. First of all, I feel like it should always be that way, but in this case, they were so great together as a unit. We hadn't done anything but that. We went got coffee afterwards, just kind of talked about the script, got to know each other. And I was like, it just made me smile the entire time. So, and then of course, you got to get there. But then you're like, well, let's hope it works out when we're actually shooting. And it was phenomenal. It was literally, they brought a family environment to the stage, so to speak, and to the whole situation where everyone involved was just so connected, and they wanted to stay. If you needed to do overtime, somebody's going to stay. If you needed to help, like come in earlier, you can come and do that. Like, and that's what it needs to start that way. Because if it doesn't, then people aren't as interested in helping. They don't want to be there. They picked also an insane location, which was wonderful. And it's hard not to give it your all when you have a team like this.
Yeah,
it's very rare.
It was wonderful working with Shane, and I don't want to speak for you, but I felt like we're shooting on this very small island, beautiful, magical place, and like there's not a ton to do, but still, after we'd wrap Shane, he'd maybe go across the street, grab a drink, but come back and just hang with us.
Yeah,
which was like, you're wrapped, but you're just kicking it with us, and it was the best.
So happy.
It was fun.
It's a generous player, and like really
I was
just
so
fun.
generous.
I'm praying that I can remember all of them, but I did also, I told you earlier, I want to emphasize the fact that literally every single person here is also a credited producer on the film. And I think that is a really big deal. So can anyone speak to maybe how that changes the on-set environment when you're all involved in that particular capacity?
Well, I always think filmmaking is a team sport, and like you need each other, and I think if there's a sense of camaraderie and it's like I have your back, we have each other's back, we're here for each other, and at different moments in time, oh gosh, I'm busy, Jacob, he's like, I'll take the reins, I think it's just nice when you have a group that you can rely on, and you're really you're just on the same team,
And everyone cares as much as you do. Like that is also like no one cares more than the other, and that is so, because I feel like maybe some sets it's like someone's like, this is their baby, this is like, and everyone's just supporting, but this is all of our babies, and we were like, we are going to make sure, and it's just like that trusting, or just like venting, or like nervous, or anything. It was just it was I even like in doing the festival and stuff, it's just like this calmness comes where I'm like, okay, I know Decker has control of that, and I'll do this and you do that. Like it's a team sport. It's really,
and we have complementary strengths.
Yes,
I think
definitely
helped us so much.
Yes.
Like some of us are a little more visual than others more logistical focused than others. And
Can you tell me your specialties?
Yeah,
I want to know.
I like
Jacob does everything.
I've done a lot of PA work, so like
Yes.
just in terms of like hands-on, like and editing work too. So like production and post-production, I felt very like qualified to like weigh in on certain things. And like I'd cut together some like teasers for us here and there, or like photos that could help with like Madison too, and you can jump in.
I just do the emails.
that is so underselling.
That's underselling it. No, this movie, I want to be very clear. This movie happened because of Olivia Blue. Like this is like the most go-getter. She does not take no for an answer. She will find a way. It is very impressive. Everyone's like, says to me, they're like, oh, it's so impressive that you've like directed 2 features like already. I was like, I have an Olivia. Do you have an Olivia? Like, I was like, it's,
call like agents and producers.
she has like no fear.
Fearless.
Yeah.
I admire it. Oh, I admire it.
So like delusion and anxiety and neuroses and good at sending emails.
Are very good at sending emails, but you're so brave. Oh, I would say I am more on the visual side, but I think I also learned and found out on this project that I'm pretty good at keeping my cool.
Yes.
So I'm like,
I was
there's
gonna say
a lot
that.
of crazy stuff going on, and I'm like, that person, they're about to cry. They need a hug. I will give them a hug.
No, Madison really impressed me with and I was gonna say, it was like, you just handled it. Like you're just like, I got it, and like handling like any like personality or whatever. Like fires. Yes.
Truly vital,
Yes,
especially when you're making a genre
Yes.
movie where you're putting yourselves through it.
There's always fires, no matter what.
Yes.
Literally
no matter
always.
what.
You're
Yes.
the best at putting them out.
Yeah.
I tried to remember my lines.
And he did.
And he was very good at
We
it.
remember them very well.
We're so annoying because we're annoying writers. So we were like, hey, Shane, so remember that last scene you just memorized? We're like, we want to just change like a couple lines. We're like,
Wake up in the morning.
it was like,
We rewrote this whole scene last night when we couldn't sleep. Is that okay?
we were like, so we changed our minds. Yeah, so that was amazing. So, but you are so fast and like so.
He's
and
so
you
on
like
it.
set the tone and
Yes, he set
lead
the tone.
like in a really beautiful way. You know, it's such.
He always stayed for coverage for
Yeah.
other people's coverage.
Oh,
which was
yeah, and
really
gave it his
sweet.
all,
Yes,
always.
it was really
It's an
nice.
important thing to emphasize.
Yeah,
I mean, you never know if
never
the
know.
other actor will do that, and it
Yeah.
was such
Very
a pleasant
generous.
surprise.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Thank you.
What's your specialty?
I would say,
I'm blushing.
sadly, my specialty is being the 10th man. Do you know what being the 10th man is?
No, why do I not know what that
It means if there are 10 people in a room and 9 people agree, the 10th
Oh.
person disagrees.
It's a contrarian. Yeah.
But it is
like that.
sometimes I agree, but I just also know the disagreement part.
Yes.
So it has to be vocalized just to make sure we've thought about it.
Demon's advocate.
Can you give me an example on this film of when your 10th man skill set came in and it called into question something that you all discussed and it wound up being better because you emphasized that it
Okay,
could?
I feel like all the time.
I have one.
What is it?
because we got in a fight.
Oh, good. Tell me, what was it?
Okay, so Dylan Adler plays Jaden in our film, and he's
It was great.
Incredible.
So good.
And like a year before we shot, I was like, it's him. And Decker was like, well, we should see other people. And I just start bawling because I was like, but it's him. Like, it's him. What? But because Decker wants us to check under every leaf so we know that the choice is right.
Yes.
And we know, like, so it's like we know with all of our hearts. And yes, he is our perfect
Yes, he's
Jaden,
our perfect
obviously.
Jaden.
But it's like she wants us to not do it.
That was a terrible example.
terrible example.
I'm kidding. I'm like, was there any highlight other than us just doing extra work?
One way that it comes so valuable is like the logic of the lore.
Oh, no, the
like when
logic
we were
of the
writing,
lore.
the logic
Yes,
of the
yes,
lore.
yes.
I think we all lost our minds a little bit in the
we
best
lost our
way
minds.
because
Oh
Decker's
my
like,
gosh.
actually, this. Wait, but what if someone thinks like this doesn't make sense in this, and you're like, but what if they just
Also, it
go
makes
with
me
it?
feel calm when you finally agree. Like that's honestly when
Yes.
you're like
Oh,
when you're
maybe
finally
that's
like
what it
yes.
is.
When it's like especially on set where I'm like writers. I was like when I was like I have like a little bit of a doubt. I was like wait this does make because it's like you can think about a thing a million times, but then like I just know that you've at least triple checked a million.
I'm logical to a little bit of a
yes.
fault.
But no, it makes me feel
That's
better.
an important thing.
That is
I'm a
better,
big
yes.
nerd for like horror movie Bibles and rules and
Yes.
lore. So when all of that isn't like checked thoroughly, like,
Yes.
I'll catch it.
Yes.
I like your lore quite a bit.
Yes, thank you.
I have to let you all go in a moment, so I'm gonna. I love how I'm like in a moment, but I'm gonna end with a big group question. I love emphasizing this because making independent films is really, really hard, and I always want to celebrate the joy people have on set and the pride they take in their work. So, can each of you go down the line and tell me the single moment of making Theater is Dead that brought you the most joy as an artist?
There's a scene in the film, and it's very emotional between Madison and Shane, and it was very late at night, and we were on a time crunch as you always are, and I was at the monitor, and I was like in my puffy coat with Decker, and we were watching, and it's just like watching people act so beautifully and be so connected is like all I ever want to do. So that was just like I was like, I can watch your faces all day. So that's mine.
I love that example.
Mine is there was a particularly difficult shot we were trying to get early on. It's a oneer, it's a long shot, it's a harrowing moment for this character, and it's right at the beginning of the movie, so it has to be killer. And we shot it, and our actors Steph Suganami did such a great job with it, and it just like hit so harder than we thought it would, that this is the scene we rewrote later. Like the scene that there's a confrontation scene later that the girls were like, we have to rewrite this actually because it doesn't work now after seeing what just happened to her at the beginning of the movie. And I felt such pride in them, like as creators and writers, to have that like foresight to be like, I already know it's not going to work because what she just delivered is so intense and so great. We have to beef up the scene. And they did. And it was can I cuss? It was
Yeah,
fucking
go
great.
for it.
It was fucking
Why
great.
So
It was amazing. Yeah.
Those
So
rules don't
I-
exist here.
I had a tremendous amount of pride for them, and like that's one where I wasn't necessarily involved, but I was like, this is really cool. Although I read it for you guys, I like auditioned it with you to see if it worked. I was like, yeah, this is great. We should definitely change the scene. And then Shane learned it the next day.
Of course.
I'm like, oh, just don't be mad.
Don't be mad, please.
Use the mad.
There's so obviously a million, and writing the script, there were so many, like obviously production was so wonderful, but like we had so many late nights writing it and going insane and like giggling, and like it kind of felt like a girls sleepover a lot of the time. Like I think there was very girlhood. Like there were times where like Madison gets the giggles really hard, and like when we were like there's a big like the big MacGuffin, you know, the big thing that happens at the end, like which was Madison's like idea, because we were like puzzle pieces and all this stuff, and like just like those moments where we figured things out, and this like glee and like of like excitement and just silliness and also frustration was really lovely. I also like I wrote another like emotionally, like I wrote a letter to all of the producers' characters before that we shot. Like I wrote to Willow and like all their characters, so I could like I'm like very like I'm like in, you know, and like gave it all to them, and like that just the time like writing to their characters for them was very like a special moment. It was really nice. Yeah.
I still have my letter that you wrote to Ben. Yeah. I kept it.
If we had time, I would be asking you about everything. Letters.
I'm trying to think. I think our last day of shooting on the island happened to be a very rainy day. We'd gotten so lucky with weather when we were shooting indoors, of course. Yeah. But it was our last day. We'd been through this crazy experience with all these people, and it was raining and everyone was cold. And I just remember like looking at all these people who were there for like to make this movie. And I just think it's so special that we get to make movies. Mm-hmm. And I just was like, wow, this collective of people are here. And I'm so grateful that everyone said yes to this. Every single person. They're all wet. Everyone's covered in mud and it's like cold, and I'm just like, this is so amazing to be able to do this, and it's so amazing that people say yes, and that people, such a leap of faith for everyone there to commit to this thing, and it's madness. And I think like that's what it's all about for me, is just looking and seeing that group, and you're all huddled under a tent together, and you're just like, God, this is so special. That feeling is so unique, and I think film sets are one of the only places you really get to feel it.
Beautiful thing to emphasize.
I have two, I'll be quick. But since we shot in such limited amount of time, we prepped with Katherine and our DP Ryan, who was wonderful, and it was his first narrative feature.
Oh, wow.
And so we were in our other producer's house where we were all staying, and we were in Zach's house, and he would shoot everything on his iPhone.
Yes.
And we would just make sure that he would make sure it would cut together. And
we would
Shane
edit
wasn't
out
there
from
yet, so
thereafter.
Jacob would play Shane, and like Jacob would play all the other characters. And
We have like the whole movie on just iPhone.
like, there's a
The
whole-
lowest
I like the
budget
movie as is, but I wouldn't mind seeing that cut
Better
one day
as is.
too.
Phone version.
I was like, I have anxiety.
and it's so silly. And then I think our first safety meeting on the island, when we were just there saying, like, we're all here.
Yeah.
Thank you. I cried then.
Yes, you can.
All of these people are here to make our crazy script. I gotta cry too. And it was just it's so crazy. And it was also like, wow, we are able to pay these people, and like we get to employ all of these wonderful, talented, creative, skilled people. Anyway,
That was a special moment. I remember that first safety meeting. Yeah, that was nice.
I mean, I could add, besides all my scenes with Decker, the amazing scenes with Madison, like, and everyone, for me, I mean, I can kind of couple off that too, is I felt like in the beginning, I felt like the audience, even though I was the director or the teacher, but being able to stand on the stage, watch Katherine, like going through, trying to direct a scene and position everybody, seeing every character out there in the audience with all their different personalities just sitting in the seats. It was like right in the beginning was some of the first stuff that I saw. That made me smile. And that stood out because I was like, this is kind of iconic. This is kind of cool. Like everybody is just so good here. And I'm like, all I have to do is let them do their thing. And I just don't screw up, let them do their thing. It'll be great.
Oh, those answers made me so happy. I mean this sincerely. I thought your movie was exceptional. I was so incredibly impressed. And also, like, the vibes, immaculate. Please keep working together. Keep building your filmmaking family. Other people in this industry would be lucky to have what you have. So I look forward to seeing you all continue to soar in this space.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
We love Collider. Thank you, Collider.